What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to tdphinstalk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. Listen, man, breaking news, Tyreek Hill tripled down on wanting out of Miami with trolling Avatar. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like he's just making the situation worse. He definitely wants out. We're going to get into that and more, but right before we do, we want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, the wild card playoff rounds are up and the odds are listed, all right? Very interesting. Two of the largest spreads, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Denver, Buffalo. Very interesting. Something to look at. If you're looking for a new sports book, get in on the game. Now, BetUS is not just a sports book, but it also has live betting, casino, race book, and so much more, including BetUS TV, ladies and gentlemen. BetUS TV hosting a show with yours truly, TD, Tony Dow, myself, Dan Mitchell, and Richie Malora, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So in about an hour and a half, make sure you come over to the show so that you can check it out. We'll be talking about everything that happened with around the NFL yesterday and moving forward. All right. Again, BetUS is where you want to be. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. But before we do, y'all punch that like button. Hit that like button, baby. Let's go. Hit that like button. I know what time it is, man. Every time stuff like this happen, we get in the season. YouTube don't want to send the notifications out. So now I got to tell everybody, hit that like button. Punch that like button right now, okay? All right. All right. Let's get into it. I'm going to bring up some stuff for y'all so y'all can see it yourself. What's going on with the Miami Dolphins? Tyreek Hill tripling down is massive. We're going to talk about that. People say, well, when did he double down? Well, the first time he basically said he's out of here. I mean, we talked about that yesterday. And then he came back after that on Twitter, and he basically said, thank you, Miami, for everything pretty much. Yeah, he said, thank you, Miami, for everything, pretty much, blah, 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 doubling down. Now he has just tripled down, ladies and gentlemen. I want y'all to take a look at what Tyreek Hill did to his social media account. Oh, my gosh. Do you notice something? Do you notice something? This is what Tyreek Hill did to his account. He changed his face with Antonio Brown throwing the deuces, and we all know what that means. We all know what that means. I ain't gonna lie, it was creative, number one. It was creative. But Tyreek is now trolling the Dolphins. And everybody talking about him. They've been talking about Tyreek all on the news this morning. He wants out. He wants out, ladies and gentlemen. And now the Miami Dolphins officially have a problem on their hand. They have a massive problem on their hand. Why do I say that? You just extended him. He did not want to go into this year without guarantees. And what did you do? You extended him. Let's take a look at the contract and see what the options are for the Miami Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Let me put it up on the screen, and we'll go from there. Whew, this one, I ain't gonna lie, it's tough. It's tough. Miami put themselves in this position. It's tough. Here we go. All right. According to Spotrac, here we are. True, man. I'm looking at it. First of all, look at the fine details down here in the contract, right? 2025 roster bonus of $1 million if he's on the roster March 14th. He gets $1 million. 2025 option bonus for $15.85 million. It's an optional bonus. Bonus, y'all. Guaranteed, must be exercised by August 31st of 2025. That is right before the season. They have to exercise it if he's on the roster. They have to exercise that by 8/31. It's safe to say they may not be exercising that bonus. Okay? And the rest of it is just fluff money, voidable years. Now let's move on up and look at the contractual situation. In 2025, Tyreek Hill is a $29 million cap hit. But they got $57 million in dead cap. Man, oh man. In 2026, he's a $52 million cap hit. But he know he's never getting to 2026. He was never going to play the 2026 year with Miami, and I told y'all that. But they still put themselves on the hook with more dead cap money by doing the restructure. So don't even think about 2026, y'all. Tyreek Hill will not, and I repeat, will not be a Dolphin in 2026. This show is about to end anyway. All of this is coming to an end in 2025. This show is about to end. But the question of the matter is, do they move off now? Let's look at the options for the Dolphins. If they release him before June 1st, let me see here. If they release him before June 1st, $57 million cap hit, dead cap. Bam. Tough. They can't do it. They can't do it. If they release him after June 1st, $41.3 million cap hit. They can't do it. They ain't got the money to do that. In a 2026, $15.5 million cap hit. They ain't got the money to do it. They can't cut him. And some people will say, I don't care, cut him and eat it. The problem is you can't even eat it because you don't even have the money to eat it. Let's go back. He's a $29 million cap hit, and we round it up. So what you would be doing if you cut him, 29, you would be adding $28 million of a cap hit this year if you release him right away. And if you wait to after post June 1st, you'd be adding negative 12 more million to the cap. They can't afford to go backwards. They can't afford to go backwards. And go even in more further debt. Now they can do it, but they got, man, this team gonna suck. They can't afford to do no offseason moves that they do. They can do it, but they would suck. They would suck. Unless Tyreek agreed to do some kind of restructure again just to do cap relief for his release, which he ain't giving up no money. So that's out of the question. So the only thing that's potentially possible is trading him. Yeah, Reggie, even if he did the same thing in Kansas City, the difference is these cap hits aren't even close. Reggie, he did the same thing, but the cap hit situation ain't even close. See, Kansas City could afford to be like, all right, Man. All right, let's move on. The real name of the game is trading him. And at least we got a player who has buyers. He'll definitely have buyers. He'll have buyers. I'll get on that Ramsey stuff after this. So if you trade him before June 1st, you have to eat this year's salary. You'll save $400,000 and be done with them. Wipe your hands clean. You still got to eat the salary this year, but you get your draft pick, wipe your hands clean. It doesn't really save us anything. It's just getting rid of him and still paying him, rewarding him for not being here, and you wipe your hands clean. If you trade him after June 1st, which is the best situation, you only have to eat $13 million dead cap this year, and you'll save $16 million this year. $16 million goes right back to your cap. And then your dead cap in 2026 will only be $15.5 million. The Dolphins are going to trade Tyreek Hill. And if they do it pre-June 1st, they're still going to pay his entire salary almost. They're just getting a draft pick and getting rid of a headache. If they do it post-June 1st, it's the most profitable for the team. It helps us, try to, recoup this year and try to bring in some free agencies and everything. Free agents and everything. But here's the deal. Do you wait to after June 1st? When you might need the draft picks? I'm going to tell y'all what they about to do. It's highly likely. See, first of all, both trade scenarios are possible. Here's what might happen. The Dolphins are going to trade Tyreek Hill post June 1st, and it's probably going to be to a contending team, and they're going to get a 2026 first-round pick for the year after. I think that's what's going to happen. They'll try to get a 2026 first-round pick. A future first-rounder. Because they're in a situation now where that's lucrative for the Dolphins. Why? Because they might need to gear up for their quarterback of the future after next year, so they might as well start now. All these people saying maybe a third and stuff like that. The league doesn't see Tyreek's value as a 960-something yard receiver that is falling off. The league knows that Tyreek Hill still has immense value. Yes, a first rounder for a 30-year-old wide receiver. Yes, because he's still out there flying around. And at the end of the day, some team that is contending, and remember, I said a contending team, so it'll be a mid to late first rounder. It would be a mid to late first rounder. Shout out to Red Hood. Tank for Archie. Hey, man, they got to put a long-term plan in place. Remember, TD, Raiders only got a third for Adams. Totally different situation in the middle of the season, trying to tank. Trying to tank. You're looking at that the wrong way. We shall see. You ain't getting no first, and I'll put money on it, TD. I bet you 1K. Hey, James, I think we can get a late round first, but if not, a second rounder then? Hey, all I know is some draft compensation would be coming back. Sorry you didn't get the notification, nobody. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but sometimes YouTube, it be times where they don't want to send it out on this channel. But I'm glad you're here. Lancelot said, TD, my problem is Tyreek continually shield Tua. Hey, here we are. Now remember this. If the Dolphins can't get decent draft compensation that they want, then they just gonna have to buddy up with Tyreek. They're gonna have to buddy up with Tyreek and say, man, hey, they're gonna have to make some concessions. See, first of all, I don't even think y'all realize what Tyreek Hill is really disgruntled about. Some of y'all may not even realize what he's upset about, what he's frustrated about. The man tried to tell you at the end of his little rant that I'm not going to be out there to just be out there. I'm too good for that. What does that mean? You got to break that down. I'm too good to be out there to just be out there. Here's what's happening in Miami. And I tried to tell y'all, man. I've been trying to tell y'all this for the longest. I told y'all. When we traded for Tyreek Hill, I said this is a problem. I told y'all all excited. And by the way, this ain't no Tyreek bad session because I'm one of the individuals that feel like everybody out here is trashing on Tyreek right now, and I don't agree with it. I think y'all need to chill. He got a point too. But let's get down to what's actually happening in Miami. Why I told y'all when we brought Tyreek in, this is going to be a problem. Because all he's going to do is hide to his problems, but we're not going to have any team success. Oh, you hating? Whatever. Now let's break it down. Let's revision. Let's go back to what I already told you, but you don't remember. I told y'all when we brought Tyreek in, the same week we brought him in, I said, man, this is why I'm concerned about this. Because y'all ain't paying attention to why his reasoning why he left Kansas City. It wasn't just the money. He wanted to stay if he got the money. But he also left because he said there was one gripe he had with them. Do y'all remember what that was? Do y'all remember what that was? Please, somebody was watching this channel and paying attention, or whenever I try to tell you the truth, it go in one ear out the other, and it's like TD just talking. He don't know what he's talking about. He said they weren't utilizing him properly. He wanted more targets. He felt that Kansas City was not giving him enough targets. Y'all don't remember this? And remember Mahomes and Andy Reid had to come out and be like, he get whatever he gets in the Florida system. Y'all don't remember this? Don't give me no that was a lie. It was debunked. No, it wasn't. He was complaining about his usage. And even Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes had to answer to it and be like, we love Tyreek. He gets the ball within the Florida system. We don't force feed anybody. They even had to say something. Anyway, I told y'all if he wasn't getting enough in Kansas City, and I read to y'all how many targets he was getting in Kansas City. I said, where he gonna get more in Miami? He getting more in Kansas City now than our top receiver. Like, and I told y'all how many more, where he gonna get that from in Miami? And Miami did what I didn't think they could do. They adhered and they gave it to him. They force-fed Tyreek for 2 years straight. Statistics galore. But the team success, every time you play a good team, you hone in on Tyreek, take away that Tyreek first read, Tua don't know what to do, everything go to bat. It goes downhill. And what McDaniel and them realize is, this is why McDaniel said last offseason, we're missing a piece. And he also said we got to have more options. And what he was trying to tell y'all is we need to stop making Tyreek the first read because defenses are going to hone in on him. There's too many other first reads open, but they're not good and they're not reliable. They may drop it. They may not run the route right. That's why they invested in OBJ and Jonnu. So they force-fed Tyreek for the first 2 years. Great offense, but not good team success. It didn't work against the good teams because they honed in on the weapon, and now you have nothing else. So now McDaniel said, we're going to approach this different. He got Tyreek to buy in. Just go out there if you're open with what McDaniel did is try to turn Tyreek back into the Kansas City Tyreek. And y'all, and let me say this too, and some of y'all going to push back on this, but that's fine. This is what I believe. You know how y'all was all like, oh, well, with Tua, Tyreek was better than with Mahomes. That's because we were force-feeding him. What you just saw this year is the version of Tua and Tyreek on an even playing field of Mahomes and Tyreek. You get it in the Florida offense. We're not force-feeding you. Just the Florida offense. Now is it better than with Mahomes? Now is the production better than Mahomes? When you play it just like the Chiefs play it, you spread it around to whoever's open. Now is the production better? That's what you're witnessing right now. McDaniel coming to the realization we can't play it like this, force-feeding him. It hurts us in the big games. We need to be able to spread it out and not have a disadvantage of defenses honing in on one guy. But guess what we should learn, but y'all ain't gonna learn this. On an even playing field, Tua not Mahomes. Tua can't lift the team and do all the extra stuff when you have it spread around like that. Yeah, he can complete it to everybody, but it ain't moving the needle. Why? Because you miss the element of Mahomes, that improvisational skills of making something out of nothing. We don't have a guy that can do that. We don't have a guy that can do that. And no, Blake. Blake says, so the takeaway is Tyreek selfish. No. Y'all need to stop disrespecting Tyreek. How is he selfish when he played your little game all season? When he played your little game all season, and after halftime, when he saw Hurd, probably got word Denver smoking them, man. It's 30-0. He realized this is the result in Miami of not giving me the rock, not prioritizing me. I'm not finna go. I'm done for the game. This season's over. I'm not finna go out there and get hurt. I'm already dealing with an injury. I'm out here thugging it out, fighting and sacrificing through my injuries all year to play your game. Y'all ain't thinking about that. Tyreek is injured. Tyreek been injured. I've been out here thugging it out every game, regardless of my injury, fighting through it regardless. And this is the end result. Yeah. I'm done. We missed the playoffs. I'm done. People say he quit on his team. At first, I thought that way too. But no. When you double back and you think about it, he ain't quit on nobody. If we were already eliminated last week, he wouldn't have even played in the game. And nobody would have said nothing. If we were eliminated last week, he probably wouldn't have even played in the game and nobody would have said a word. Yeah, he quit, but justifiably. There was nothing wrong with him quitting. Nothing was on the line. Y'all want to make Tyreek out to be the villain now, when he's been lying about this team in favor of the team, lying about Tua in favor of Tua, going out there playing hurt, shutting his mouth, making everything seem positive. Y'all leave Chris Greer alone. He the best GM. Y'all leave my coach alone. Mike McDaniel's awesome. Man, Uno, that guy. He been doing everything to be a great model citizen, and this little moment that didn't make a difference. He's the biggest villain now. I'm just asking y'all to think about it that way. I know a lot of y'all have been dogging on him. I was kind of dogging on him last night internally. But when you actually sit back and think about everything, now he's the biggest villain? He's the biggest villain? Do you know that one? And another thing, everybody like, the same guy that keep dropping passes. I'm sorry. Every site that I go pull up to go look at the drop passes, because I was thinking to myself, dang, they sure always talking about his drops, but actually, I don't remember many. I remember like 2 or 3. And now they may have been big moments, but I only remember like 2 or 3 main ones. And I said, let me go verify, because they blowing this, I think, maybe out of proportion to sell their anger right now. And they need somebody to let it out on, and he's the perfect candidate. So I go look it up. Do y'all know on almost every site, Tyreek Hill only has 2 catchable drops all season. Almost one site has 3, but almost every site I went and looked at, 2 catchable drops. The man got 2 catchable drops all season. Now, something else I learned in that, and I'm not trying to bring up Deshaun Watson, right? But I thought this was real crazy, man. Do y'all know who number 1 in the NFL is for drops this year? Amari Cooper. He got 12. 11 were with the Browns when Deshaun Watson was quarterback. You know who number 3 in the NFL in drops is? Jerry Jeudy. 9 drops. 7 of them was with Deshaun Watson. You want to know who number 11 in the NFL is? David Njoku. All 7 with Deshaun Watson, because he got hurt. He also got hurt, so he's been out for the large part of the season as well. Now, you want to talk about drops? Waddle is tied at 11 with Njoku with 7. Waddle got 7 of them. And y'all on Tyreek? Now, I just thought that was funny because I was looking at the top 25 receivers with drops. and Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, and Njoku in the top 11. 3 Browns wide receivers. I'm just saying that ain't to defend nobody. I just thought that was very interesting. But anyway, the fix was in for Watson. No, I just think that they were having a rough go at it. They were having a rough go because I was watching those games early on. Like Amari Cooper in the end zone, like he was just having a rough go at it. Like Deshaun Watson would throw him a dime in the end zone and he would catch it and try to secure it and it just come out. Jerry Jeudy, 40-yarder over the middle, just tapping his helmet. I was watching it all at the beginning of the year. So Watson was bad, but not as bad as people think. Not as bad as people think, but that's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is, it's funny how everybody talk about Tyreek Hill and the same guy who was dropping passes. Like y'all are picking on him right now. You're mad. You want to know who you can lash out at. Stephen Ross told you can't lash out at Greer and McDaniel because they stand. And that made you even more mad. And Tyreek doing what he did, he the perfect candidate right now. Let's turn him into Antonio Brown. And that's why he trolling us now. He hear everything y'all saying. He trolling the fan base in the Miami Dolphins and everybody out here talking about him. Y'all trying to turn him into Antonio Brown. Now, I'm not saying Tyreek Hill is a good character guy and all this and that. I don't know him like that, but I know he ain't got the best track record. But as a Miami Dolphin, he was a model citizen. To the point to where he constantly lied to our face in the benefit of the team. Benefiting the team. Stop. The whole time. Well, maybe I'll take back model citizen. He did have that boat incident too. But still, that got wiped out. Yeah, run in with the cops again on the sidewalk. But that got thrown out. But the point of the matter is, come on, man. Come on. The man, like, as a stop it. That man gave everything he had in Miami. And I'm going to tell you why he upset too. Dang, you couldn't even help me get 1,000 yards. Couldn't even help me get 1,000 yards. I'm wasting my career in Miami. And the truth is, he is. At what point we going to be honest? He is wasting his career. You ain't competing for no Super Bowls in Miami with this quarterback, with this soft coach. When we going to start being honest? The man is wasting his career in Miami. He got the bag, and that's what I tell you always. When you overpay for players, hey, you paying for them to, like, that's the problem with Miami. We don't want to build nothing. We want to buy stuff. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. I just don't like how we're just trying to slander this man and make him Antonio Brown. That's why he put that picture up. That's what they doing. We gonna sit here and act like this ain't one of the great receivers in NFL history. And we want to minimize that to disgruntled diva, ain't really worth nothing. Why? Because y'all thought him coming to Miami was going to make the difference in winning a Super Bowl? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. That's all we heard. It's all Tua needed, a reliable receiver. Now we going to the bowl. I'm so sick of these fans that turn on everybody that doesn't benefit Tua. You a lie, wacko. Talk about you did too. That's a lie. I pumped up the fact that we got him and we got a dog, a guy who can make plays. Now, there was a point I said, man, I don't even know if Tua can mess this up, but I was wrong. Nah, stop that Super Bowl stuff. I say that every year. As a Dolphin fan, I want to believe every year that we going to win the Super Bowl. But I sit on this channel and I also give you my honest opinion about everything. 90% of the time, I'm giving y'all the raw truth. 10% of the time, I'm getting in my fandom. All right, let's go. The time has come. Man, we're going to win this game. I'm getting positive for my team. The problem is some of y'all take that 10% of the time, and that's the only time you like me. So when you see that, and in the other 90%, you kind of despise of me. So you don't never listen to me in the truth telling that I do. So then when moments like this happen, no, you said the opposite of what you saying now. No, I didn't. It's sad what I'm about to say. 90% of what I talk about on this team is negative. Why? Because this team is negative. Ain't nothing going for it. I'm only reporting what they are and what they give us. We go make a nice acquisition in Tyreek Hill, and I say, man, I don't know. This concerns me. He's going to want a lot of, and if we force feeding him the ball, that's a problem because we don't have a well-rounded offense. Dang, you can't be happy about nothing. We just got the best receiver in the game, and you can find a way to be negative. Here we are today. Here we are today. Here we are today. How you make Tyreek a captain? Because he's supposed to be a captain. He more of a leader than our quarterback. And you want to know something? He more of a leader than everybody in that locker room. You know why? Because it was about time somebody stood up and said something. It was about time somebody came and showed their real frustration. Not all this kumbaya. Well, I love my brothers. I love the team. We didn't get it done, but next time, blah, blah, blah. I don't care nothing about you barking in each other's face. When is somebody going to speak up against Mike McDaniel and his shenanigans? And what Tyreek did yesterday was speaking up against Mike McDaniel and his shenanigans without saying his name, but showing his frustration. Why? Because he cares about winning. He was mad because this is the first time he hadn't been in the playoffs in his career. That is what you call caring about winning. That's what you want to be your captain. You don't let a bad head coach run around and be the boss of you if you know you on a losing situation in a losing team. That's part of the problem. That's why y'all hated Flores. Because he bucked the system that was designed to make him fail to begin with. And y'all just wanted everybody to sit there and be a good old boy and just do what's told. No, people ain't finna settle for failure. They gonna do whatever it take, even if getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. I'm going to say that one more time. If getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. That's real. And that's a Lil Wayne lyric, by the way. He was talking to Big Sean. If getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. That's real, man. Remember that. It ain't about if they remember you, because they remember rap, and just spit it back and hope somebody digging that, because this is deep. Y'all go check it out. The song called Deep. If getting your point across crosses the line some of the time, then cross it with pride. Y'all don't understand that mentality, that thought process. You don't sit around and let people take advantage of you or just be a part of a winning situation, a losing situation. You don't do that. You do whatever it takes to win, even if it crosses the line. You got to get your point across. TD, we hit rock bottom. Not yet. It's coming. Not yet. You'll see that about 365 days from now on this day. That will be rock bottom. 365 days from now on this day is highly likely to be rock bottom. And that, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm telling you, I told y'all 2025 is going to be the end of this shenanigans. I told y'all a year ago, they done signed Tua. Let me put my seatbelt on. You got 2 more years and all this circus will be over because he's getting paid and that cap number going to keep going up, up, and up. The talent going to keep going down, down, and down. And the only way to offset it is becoming the best drafting team in the NFL because you already at a deficit in your draft picks. Trust me, we are literally headed down the road and the signs say dead end. Dead end. So when we get to the end, you better hope that they do construction and keep driving, making the road, building this thing. You better hope that they don't turn around, go back to the street, go to the next street that say dead end and go down that one. That's what you better hope. So we still traveling. We don't believe that sign we saw entering. That's the problem. We don't believe that sign that said no outlet. Dead end. We don't believe it. We don't believe it. Matter of fact, we now have gotten so far that we see the barricades in the distance. For some reason, they're like, yeah. But when we get up there, there might be okay. All right. Whatever you say. Oh man, this is crazy, man. Tank for Archie. TD, my problem is Tyreek continually shields Tua. I already read that. TD, would you trade him to Dallas for a 3rd this year and a 5th next year because we need a second option next to CD down here? Yeah, I'll trade him to wherever as long as we can get some solid draft compensation. I'm searching for a 2. I'm thinking we can get a 1, but if I'm wrong, because a lot of people kick back on that, so maybe I'll trust what y'all saying. I'm at least searching for a 2 though, because we're not gonna sit here and act like 4 or 5 teams ain't gonna be like, hey man, what y'all doing? What y'all doing about that? Don't sit there and act like that ain't gonna happen. About 4 or 5 teams, what y'all doing about that? You know why? Because matter of fact, about 7 to 10 teams gonna ask what y'all doing about that. You know why? Because there's too much dead cap on here to where whatever team gets him, they not even paying close to the salary. They playing peanuts. They paying a couple of $1 million to Tyreek because we got to eat the dead cap. This ain't no case of a team trading for him and now they got to eat $30 million. No, they going to have a handful of millions, less than 10, maybe even less than 5. At least in the first year for sure. And then they would just restructure his deal. Whoever was the trade for Tyreek, they have a small cap hit in 2025, and then they'll probably cut him because the Dolphins still got to deal with the dead cap, or they'll re-sign him on a new extension. Tyreek finna get paid. Tyreek finna get paid, man. Again, possibly. All he got to do is go to the team next year for 1 year, wherever he go, and ball out. He gonna get paid again. A nice little 2-3 year deal. Realistically, you can trade Hill to the Ravens or Chargers for a bunch of picks, but they won't have their trash. They won't because they're a trash organization. You never know. Some of these teams at this point, they are in the playoffs and they know that there may be 1 or 2 pieces away, and they're going to find that out this year. They can still do it. Reek ain't dumb. He see the Chargers doing. He gets to play KC 2 times a year. LOL. You might be right. You might be right. CTD, I told you bad luck. Yes, y'all leave Tua alone. Reek needs to step his game up. Stop complaining Bills all day. Y'all Bills fans love y'all some Tua. That's all they talk about. Long as Tua y'all quarterback, we going to win the division every year. TD, we stopped forcing Tyreek the ball to make the offense better, but instead it got worse. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to come back to you in that comment in a second. What y'all going to do now? G Money in the house. Ready for another rebuild. All right. Let's get to this comment. We stopped force feeding Tyreek Hill to make the offense better, but it got worse. This is why I told y'all 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I told you, but from 3 years ago, that first year with McDaniel, it only go up from here. Imagine what it'll be next year. I told y'all. Tua and everybody exceeded their ceilings that first year. New system, league ain't familiar. They don't know what you're going to bring at them. They worried about the speed. I said, y'all don't get they exceeded their ceiling. They exceeded it. And I said, they'll come back down a little bit. Last year, they did come down a little. It was still high. And I said, could this be the norm? Or will teams figure it out? By the end of the year, I concluded, we figured out. Go watch the good teams. Y'all getting all enamored on these dumb bad teams. Why you think they bad? They don't every week. They don't scheme to the other team. They just go out there and run their base. This is one thing the bad teams do. They don't scheme much at all. That's why they always getting fired. These are bad coaches, coordinators and all. You listen to their interviews before the game. You know, going up in Tyreek and Waddle this week, how do you plan on stopping them? See, I do the work. I listen to these other coaches and their coordinators and how they plan on trying to stop us. And every time we play a bad team, it blows my mind when they up there on the podium. Well, you know, we can't be scared of those guys. We got to bring it to them. Okay, makes sense. You know, we're just going to do us. We're going to play our defense, play the stuff that we play well, and, you know, try to compete. You're not scheming then. You're not scheming towards what we do. You're just out there in the base cover 2. And that way you can attack the seam in the middle or the flats, or you're in whatever you're in, we got an answer for. But Buffalo, they scheme to us every time. The Baltimore Ravens scheme. You know the teams that scheme on defense. Well, we know this, we know that. They struggle in this. These teams don't challenge them here. Those teams do. Let's start. And what the league start doing is, not the whole league, because the bad teams still the bad teams. They don't scheme. That's why we beat them all the time. So now what the good teams are doing is this. What did they do to them in this game when they beat them? Oh, I see. Yeah, we can run that. What about this game? They were different. Oh, they did that. Oh, we can mix that up. They're creating the whole defenses to stop us. Well, maybe we do this. It'll take care of both of those little switches. We've been figured out, but only against the good teams that have good coaches that scheme. Bad teams, they never can stop us. But on top of it, some of these teams run their base because they got bad personnel too. So I understand, but remember, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you have to take away every game we played against the sub 500 teams. Erase them in your brain. Oh, what you want me to just erase all the good things we did? Yes, because you don't put that in evaluation. You put that in fandom. Yeah, another win. That's fandom. But if you really are evaluating your team, you only evaluate equal or greater competition. I got a 2-year-old daughter. If I line up and say we finna play a basketball game of 21, if I go 10-0, we play 10 games and I go 10-0, oh man, I'm not gonna take them stats away from you. What's wrong with y'all? Now I understand it ain't a 2-year-old, but there are levels to this, and y'all just ignore them to keep your false narrative. This is why I don't claim to know it all or be right, but I can use common sense. I'm not no Nostradamus. Oh, TD always right. Oh, TD was right again. Man, y'all be hating on TD, but everything he be saying be right. I ain't doing nothing special but using common sense. Common sense. What I care about us playing the Jags, worst team in the NFL. We can't be a good team. Oh, but we beat the Cowboys last year. You know what? You're right. That debunks all of that. Oh, but wait. We just learned that the Cowboys are just like us. They didn't beat a good team under over 500 the whole year. That's why they record up there just like ours. And one of us got to win this game. And it was a nasty, sloppy game. Ugly game by both teams. Just ridiculous. 6 field goals by Miami, 4 turnovers from the Cowboys. Just a nasty game. Common sense. We ignore common sense to support our narratives. Whatever keeps my narrative right. Like, stop that mess. What's wrong with y'all, man? But I also understand, because when you have other people that do what I do, selling you on the opposite and making you happy and feel right, yeah, I knew I was right. And then all they got to do when everything go to hell and it's all wrong, all they got to do is one thing. Well, until they fix the whole line, we'll never really know. Oh, my Jesus. Oh, man, boy, that's the final go-to, boy. Oh, man, everything being debunked. Well, but the whole line, man. No. Oh, my, and I'm not saying the O-line is not an issue, but ladies and gentlemen, y'all, stop. Stop ignoring all the real issues, man. Yeah, we know that O-line is an issue, but there's what another thing about O-lines. Every year is only about 4 really good O-lines in the NFL where you're like unpenetrable, and they still penetrable, by the way. They still great. But come on, everybody O-lines are up and down struggling. You're going up against guys who are ruthless that's just trying to rip your head off to get to the quarterback. And you can't even hold them. You just got to be in a position to use your weight and strength to push them back. It's tough. This is why the name of the game ain't the O-line, baby. It's the quarterbacks. Does a better O-line help? Absolutely. So it's a part of something you want to factor in and be good if you can. But that's why you can't hustle backwards. You got to hustle smart. You got to hustle smart. Having an elite quarterback will always be more valuable than an elite O-line. And some people will be like, you tripping. Okay. Patrick Mahomes proved it last year when he had two tackles, 2 of the worst tackles in the league. Joe Burrow keep proving it as far as offensive success. Lamar Jackson been proving it. They've gotten better though. I mean, having you, Josh Allen, now this is the best O-line he's probably had, but previous years, he's been proving it. He's been proving it. Yes, you need an O-line regardless of what I'm saying right now. But the biggest bang for your buck is what's important. We got a quarterback that ain't ever going to move the needle. You ain't ever going to win on Super Bowl that way. You ain't ever going to win the Super Bowl that way. The biggest problem with the Miami Dolphins is that we built the team for Tua and not a team for the Dolphins. The goal was to make Tua a good quarterback. Guess what? He's good. That still ain't good enough. You can't win with this guy. Everything got to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. This is Ryan Tannehill 2.0. Everything got to be perfect. Now, people out here, the real issue this year is our inability to run the football. But y'all raving about the center. I like the center. He did good pass blocking this year. We got him for the future. Worst run blocker on the team. Y'all don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. What eliminates all these issues is an elite quarterback who can, God dog, Bo Nix would have took this team to the playoffs. Facts. Facts. Bo Nix would have took this team to the playoffs, man. I'm telling y'all. Just with his mobility alone, that added little feature, he can make the throws. But just with his mobility alone, that added feature, he would have took us to the playoffs. And not only that, we would have felt better because he would have had the ability to beat some of the better teams, compete against them. And our weapons are better. Oh, man, let me get up out of here, man. Tyreek Hill tripling down. That Jalen Ramsey stuff was fake. It was old from, I think, his Jacksonville days. So, y'all, that whole Ramsey thing, y'all stop listening to these people. I verify. Everybody was sending it to me. Oh, gee, look at this Ramsey. I went to go verify. I've been verified for 2 years now. Let y'all in on a little secret. Ever since one of my day ones sent me a little video, screen recording, pretty much, them and a whole bunch of other people on another creator's channel backstage plotting, hating on this channel, talking about, oh, let's send the edits, and I bet you he go live, trying to troll your boy. And he sent it to me like they plotting on you. And sure enough, my inbox on Twitter and everything was flooded with fake news because I was going live so fast, so often. I was killing it. My haters trying to set your boy up. They tried to set your boy up, and I didn't go live. Appreciate the homie that did it. They watch almost every stream, by the way. Salute to you. But I ain't finna say who, cuz. But anyway, all these games people play out here, verify. They sent me the same. They sent me that. They sent me all kind of stuff. I don't be believing. Or I go verify if I see it on their timeline. Just like the Tyreek thing, I went to verify. Wow, he really did. Let's go live. So yeah. I'm glad I actually just said that. You know why? Because when you think of the haters, man, it's 2025. We just hit 32K. You know, they probably boiling in their skin. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all love and support always and having my back. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Fins up no matter what. The key to that, no matter what. We could be mad at our team. We could talk trash about our team, especially in moments like this. It's crap what they giving us. But it still fins up no matter what. No matter what. I'm starting to feel like you actually ain't a fan if you don't criticize them when it's warranted. I'll see y'all later. I'll probably come back later today. Because everything, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There's all kind of stuff going on out here, man. All right, y'all. Yeah, because I gotta address some stuff, this social media stuff. But I did want to say, y'all stop the Tyreek slander. If it wasn't for him, we'd have been way worse off. Well, maybe that is something to be mad at him about, because maybe we wanted to be, so it no, but Tyreek, man, I'm glad he doing what he's supposed to do. And you know what it also does? It makes Mike McDaniel uncomfortable. Talk your talk, Tyreek. Matter of fact, maybe you need to coach him into being a dog. I'm happy Tyreek did that. Shake everything up. Because if he didn't do it, y'all, and I'm glad he did it publicly. If he did it behind closed doors, they would have soaked it over. Oh, well, Tyreek, you know, we're going to do better next year. We're going to blah, 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 blah. More of that soft stuff. No, rubber meet the road. Let me put it out there. Now there has to be an answer to it. Now you got to come back and say, you know, your response publicly. Now there's accountability in holding me and you to it. And for that, they're going to get rid of him. He bucked the system. He wasn't a good boy sitting there and just shutting up. They're going to get rid of him. And that's why we're the type of team that's going to always be in purgatory. Because truth is, nobody want to have real accountability in that organization. They don't want to have real accountability in the organization. They want to play their little game and you do what we tell you to do. But guess what? That man shut his mouth and did everything you told him to do all year. And then literally when it was 99% loaded, he decided, man, I'm not going back in there. When it was all over, 0% chance, it's all over, y'all. I'm done with this mess. Now he's the worst person ever and all, man. Let's stop that mess. And good for Mike McDaniel. You didn't have a winning season, sir. You didn't have a winning season, sir. What you gonna do now? You think they're gonna fire Mike McDaniel after having 3 winning seasons? He didn't have a winning season. And no, they're not gonna fire him, obviously, now, but oh well, now we're regressing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are regressing. Love y'all. I'm out. Peace.